We have Noble Tax Strategies, which is a full-service accounting firm where we are working with high net worth individuals and business owners, focusing on all aspects of mitigating tax, keeping more of your own money and keeping you from donating to the IRS. Because when it comes to tax strategy and tax planning, a lot of it comes down to how things are being classified within your books.
Right.
So if it is somebody internally doing it, we still need to be on the same page on how they are classifying the things, so we can make the most out of it when it comes to the planning. Easiest way is to go right there on our website, so nobletaxstrategies.com. You can schedule appointments directly through the website. Our phone number is on there. Again, it's 813-395-8927. Feel free to reach out. We'll definitely get back to you if we don't answer right away.
Tell me about Noble Wealth. Tell me about the services that you guys provide.
Well, there's actually two separate entities.
Okay.
Right. So there's Noble Wealth Planning, which is a completely independent registered investment advisory firm where we focus on comprehensive financial planning. So what that encompasses is maybe we're going to be doing some college planning for your kids, some life insurance planning, making sure that we're covering all the risk associated for you and your family. Maybe we're looking at retirement planning, investment management, estate planning, comprehensive wealth management. All of that is going to go underneath Noble Wealth Planning. Not tied to any broker-dealers, completely independent, fee-for-service.
Got
Then
it.
we have Noble Tax Strategies, which is a full-service accounting firm where we are working with high net worth individuals and business owners, focusing on all aspects of mitigating tax, keeping more of your own money and keeping you from donating to the IRS. So what we typically end up doing is essentially an outsourced CFO for a company. We are handling all aspects of the monthly bookkeeping and accounting. We're handling the payroll. We're providing monthly financials to the business owners, profit loss, balance sheet, cash flow statements, reviewing those. And by staying on top of the books, we're able to, at any point in the year, see what your net profits are. Your net profits are what you're going to end up getting taxed on. So we need to make sure that we're proactive throughout the year and look at ways to implement different strategies and planning techniques to reduce that tax liability.
Yeah, one thing I like is that we've discussed that we're going to be sitting down is you also offer like tax strategy where we sit down and we go through all kinds of numbers. And how often do we meet? Is it like quarterly we meet?
At least quarterly.
At least quarterly.
You want to take a look at what you did last quarter. See where you stand, what those profits are, start to anticipate on what you're doing for the upcoming quarter.
Mm-hmm.
That way we can implement different things throughout the year and limit that tax liability before the year end comes. Most people, most business owners, most accounting firms, it's more reactive.
Right.
You gather your information after the year end, you take it to your tax preparer, and you give it to them. And essentially all they're doing is data entry. They're taking the numbers you provided and they're inputting it into their system to provide a tax return for you. We do it completely opposite. We are going to be proactive. Like you stated, those quarterly meetings. That way we can implement things before the end of the year. There's so many strategies that go out the window after December 31st. So we need to know what those are, how we can utilize them in our efforts. And again, the biggest thing is keeping more of your own money. So,
could you give me an example, maybe like a story, or could you maybe just a time where you used this tax strategy and it was extremely beneficial for a client?
So a lot of it comes down to how a company is structured. So a lot of individuals, they here get an LLC and we're going to save on taxes. But a single member LLC actually doesn't do anything in regards to taxes. It provides liability protection, right? But there's other steps that you would need to take. So one is setting up to be as an S corp, which we have you set up to be an S corp. The benefit of that is we'll use some simple math, right? So let's say you have $100,000 in net profit. If you're a single member LLC, you're disregarded it in the eyes of the IRS. That is going to get taxed on your Schedule C of your personal return. $100,000, 15.3% self-employment tax, $15,300. However, if we set you up as an S corp, The IRS says we have to pay you a reasonable salary. It's about 35% is what we end up setting you up as. We had to put you on a W-2 for that amount. However, once we accomplish that, the remainder of that $100,000 that I use as an example, you get to take as a distribution to the owner, avoiding self-employment tax on that amount. Simple math, $100,000, that's about $8,300 in tax savings from that one strategy alone.
From that one strategy, and there's many, many more.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's awesome. And you were telling me now that you're starting to specialize in contractors, huh?
Yeah. A lot of contractors. So, working with public adjusters now all over the country, and a lot of other individuals within that scope or industry, right? People in water mitigation, roofers, but all of it does come with the relationships with the public adjusters.
What do you feel is different with your experience? Is there anything different? Do you feel like anything different with contractors in the roofing industry or with the public adjusting industry?
A lot of y'all you're really good at what you do, right? The number aspect kind of gets pushed to the side.
But we're terrible at this part.
Well, fortunately, that's why I have a job.
Right, exactly.
Y'all are really good at going out there and driving revenue and bringing revenue into your household, your business, and so forth. Things on the financial side, I'll get to it later. But by doing that, you're setting yourself up to pay more taxes. A lot of times, too, people are just 1099, right? And they're operating as independent contractors, so they're not structuring themselves properly. Getting that LLC, setting yourself up as an S corp, just the small little steps, right? They're not staying on top of their books. One of the easiest things to do is set up a QuickBooks.
Right.
Whether you attempt to do it yourself, whether you use a firm like ours, or go on Upwork or somewhere like that, but find somebody to handle your books.
You may not know this, but you are a part of my organizational chart.
All right. There you go.
But the whole point is that you are a part of our organization. You are in the accounting seat, and when you first started with me, it was you were in the accounting seat and in the finance seat.
Yeah.
I had separated. Well, I had them as one, but basically separate. And obviously since then we brought somebody on to fulfill that finance role, to like the bookkeeping role, but you offer bookkeeping services as well.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, for us, I thought it was a little bit easier to just sort of separate it, but I think it's been great so far. It's been really working out.
Yeah, it works out. I work hand in hand with the person.
With her, yeah.
Internally, so, anytime, and that's another thing I do, not just for your company, but others. So there are companies that do have it internal. I play well in the sandbox, so we can bounce ideas off of each other. If there's anything I can still add value to whatever they're doing, then it helps, right? Because when it comes to tax strategy and tax planning, a lot of it comes down to how things are being classified within your books.
Right.
So if it is somebody internally doing it, we still need to be on the same page on how they are classifying the things, so we can make the most out of it when it comes to the planning. Yeah.
One thing, I talked about this in our podcast that we had, but, one thing that I was one thing I like about you is you're very responsive. You're very accessible, which is very important for me. Can you give maybe a tip or some kind of education to those out there where, all right, if you're not ready to hire me, make sure that you do X, Y, and Z. Any tips that you can give to someone who's just, they're kind of like, they're feeling like they're a little bit of a mess and they want to get stuff figured out, besides hiring you, of course.
Yeah, besides hiring me. I think the first step is getting control of your books, utilizing QuickBooks, utilizing FreshBooks. There's a number of them out there that you can use, but find some type of basic bookkeeping system and begin to track your expenses. That's such an easy way to save yourself taxes. A lot of people just fly by the wayside, right? And by doing that, you're missing out on so many deductions for expenses that you use in your day-to-day life. So
it also helps you out too, right? Where if you are that accountant for that company or that person that it just does it at the end of the year,
right?
It helps you out a lot if they have some kind of organization already set up with QuickBooks.
Which then saves more money for the individual.
Right.
Because there's not so much cleanup that we would have to do at the That's the back end of it.
Exactly. Okay.
Even if you open your own QuickBooks or
Mm-hmm.
track your miles. If you have the app on your phone and you're in your car driving,
I hate doing that.
all you have to do is have the app.
I know.
And it automatically tracks it for you.
So if I open up QuickBooks right now, all of it's tracked because I opened it.
Yeah.
Okay. I got to look at to see if it's been tracking.
All of it.
I think it's been tracking then.
So
I hope so. And the receipts, right?
yes. It's great too. You open the app, the very first button on the front of the app.
No.
Snap receipt.
I hate the receipts though. I hate that part too.
It helps you, right?
That was like your number one. And you know what too is Anna said the same thing. She's like, I need receipts.
I mean, that makes it so easy. Have the app right there. Open it. First thing. Boom. Get rid of the paper.
Yeah, but then it asks you to label it and it asks you to do all these things.
You don't though. So the software, as long as you have your bank and it's pulling in the transaction, you take a picture of the receipt. It'll find that transaction on your transaction list.
Oh.
The software automatically does that. As long as it sees all four corners, it sees you were at 7-Eleven, you spent $52 on gas, it'll find that and then file that with that transaction automatically.